Ladies and gentlemen, the Geological Mapping and Modeling Expert Group was founded only in autumn 2020. This is why the content of my talk might appear a bit different to you in comparison to the other expert groups. Our work is dedicated to the topic of baseline geology, namely in the shape of maps, map data sets and 3D models. They display information about the architecture and building materials of the Earth crust, or to describe it with an analog from human medicine, which I like very much. My father was a surgeon. Information about the anatomy of the subsurface. This kind of information is indispensable for all applied subsurface-related challenges we face, and we heard much about that today and in the last 2 days. What is the present-day status of availability of this very fundamental geological information of Europe? To say it in advance, it is very diverse across Europe, and in many regions it is very poor. Let's take the famous, nearly iconographic example of the IGME 5000 in the background of this slide as an example. The International Geological Map of Europe and adjacent areas. There are good and less good news to tell about this map. Good news are it includes information for the whole of Europe. It is fully harmonized. Information includes lithology or the type of rock, the age of the rocks, and also some important structural elements like important faults and overthrusts. And very important, it fulfills fair data principles. The less good news, it is the only harmonized data set which we have for the whole of Europe. It includes no information about geological units, for example, tectonic or lithotectonic units. The scale is just 1 to 5 millions. So much too small to be useful in most applied projects and challenges we are facing. The compilation of this map took a huge effort and lasted for about 12 years. And the time of publishing was already in 2004, so it's already outdated. At this point, I come back to the analogy of geological baseline information and the anatomy of the human body. We do have excellent tools for subsurface operations and sophisticated methods to analyze very specific properties of rocks in the subsurface. However, these tools and methods will not help when our knowledge about the anatomy of the subsurface is, so to say, from the Middle Ages, as you see in the thinking bubble of one of the surgeons here. This is the situation we want to have. Top equipment and top information and knowledge for all European regions on the one hand, and as harmonized data sets at European level on the other hand. And this cannot be achieved just on the European level, and it cannot be achieved just by harmonization of existing data or with remote sensing technologies. In many European countries, we need a strong boost for honest, truly field-based mapping programs. This small example from Lower Austria, close to the river of Danube, shows a dramatic gain of information and knowledge due to a remapping of the area with modern methods and tools. And I could tell interesting stories about how this new map was successfully employed in applied projects in the meantime. And I'm quite grateful to at least two speakers from today morning, Ladislav Mikos and Philippe Varin, that they also stressed the necessity of supporting basic geoscience and especially mapping programs. In some European countries, even a restart of field-based mapping program is necessary, and we, the members of EGS Geological Mapping and Modeling Expert Group, we ask you for your support. The directors, we set the agendas within our surveys are sitting in the room. And please help us to raise our level of knowledge corresponding to this second cartoon. Thank you for your attention.